Yes, we're back. It's Hotspot with your girl on the Rocks. Yes, we're here. And it is Women's History Month. I'm so excited to be here with another media queen. So we can kind of talk about stuff that we both are familiar with. It's a beautiful thing. So everyone, I'm so happy to introduce Val to the Hub 17 studio. We have seen each other in passing. She has been an amazing watcher of my work, and yes. She reached out and was like, hey, I see you and I wanna be a part of your show and come down and talk and chat. And I was just like, girl, we're here on Tuesday, come through. So it was a really meant to be moment. So I'm so happy to have you.
Thank you so much for having me.
Of
I've been watching her. She stayed at Girl on the Rocks for a while. We've met 3 years ago in another women's event.
Yes.
So I'm grateful that you allowed me to come here. I'm happy to be here.
Yes. So let's talk about you, girl. You're on my show, but you're out here killing it. Okay. So I'm super proud of you as well.
Thank you.
So first, before we even get into what you're doing now, how did you get so familiar with media? What made you want to be in front of and behind the scenes?
I think it was pretty much all of my life. I love uncovering a book of a cover and not judging it. So since I was younger, I would always talk to random people, strangers, and I would always ask pivotal moment questions or open-ended questions. Okay. And then I think that's when it started. But I didn't know media was going to be my thing. I thought I was going to be a performer and a singer my whole life.
Yeah.
But as I pursued that and as I went to a performing arts high school and then went to college for it, it just kept calling me. And radio was always something I liked. I always heard the 107.5, in the mornings, 106 in Park or whatever. And I would always be like, yo, I wonder, how do they get a job like that just to talk? That would be so much fun.
Yeah.
And I stopped waiting around for people to give that to me, and I gave it to myself. It was a very important moment for me because I had to, really, grab myself by the balls and just do it.
And what was that day like? What day was it? How long ago was that when you made that decision to say, all right, I'm doing this for real?
When I started a podcast with other people, and then those people outed me without me knowing. And I think that was the moment for me, okay, no more relying on someone else or other people to do this. It's my vision. And I was very strict on, I want to talk about how music empowers and motivates people on their daily life.
Yeah.
And I wanted to talk how it healed or how it helped with traumas. I didn't want to talk about gossip or media stuff that you probably already hear in the radio.
It's been done.
We want to be more raw, more vulnerable. We want to share experiences of traumas so you can know that you're not the only one out there going through it. Absolutely. And there's a lot of lyrics that help people out to see the light. So I talk about self-awareness, and a lot of people just don't like to talk about their feelings, especially on media.
100%. The world on the internet and real life are two totally different places. And how are you managing through that? You know what I mean? When you work for media, it kind of almost conjoins together, and it's kind of hard to tell where is real life and where is the internet at this point, because it's all looking like the same. So how are you finding ways to balance that?
To be honest, I try to go at it one step at a time or one day at a time. There's no way of managing it, but just not getting lost in the sauce. If it's not in your purpose, you have to just know what you're doing this for and know what separates you from every other media person.
Absolutely.
When you focus on your purpose and on your mission, then all of the distractions just cancel out. Because there's a lot of people that will make up lies because they're intimidated by the way that you're moving.
Yeah.
There's people who've been in media longer than me, and I've been seeing them on IG, and then they switched the script and then turned on me and did some other stuff.
Yeah.
And you can't get lost in that, honestly, because if you have a light and it's gonna shine regardless. Let me tell you, you could try to dim it any way you can. You could try to copy,
way.
But if it's originally yours, no one can take that from you, and
Absolutely.
that's what gives me that drive to keep going and to just not pay attention to the BS. Because honestly, if you have a vision out there, just do it. Don't listen to anyone. Just literally believe in yourself. Don't hold on your parents, because sometimes your family goes against you. That's what happened with me. When I started this journey, nobody believed in me.
Yeah.
The only person that believed in me was one person. And that's God, and my mentor. That was it. And no one in Jersey was really like doing something like that. So I was like, I'm gonna just have to take a chance on myself. And I don't think I've heard a show that talks about music therapy and the power of it. So I was like, I'm done. I'm doing it. And that was that. Never looked back. And because I continued and persisted, it's not been easy. Like you said, you have moments where you're crying, you're questioning why you're even doing this.
Yeah.
You're questioning is it even worth it, but you just still go. And like 70 something episodes later, I've gotten opportunities to speak with motivational speakers that got into like 4 airplane accidents and going out of state. Like I thought it was only Jersey, but then like I kept going and I'm like, I have listeners in Canada, Jamaica, like DR, Puerto Rico. And I'm just like, okay,
exactly. To see that, it's like, oh my gosh, like it's really happening. People are seeing and hearing what I'm doing.
Exactly.
I love it.
It took a long time to do that. And now getting offers from artists, because I have like a music therapy segment where I just shine a light on underground artists all around, everywhere I hear it. And I've gotten so many connections through that, from Cali to Chicago, so many things. So if I stopped in episode 5, I don't think I would have gotten all of the opportunities that are opening up in front of me like now.
Absolutely.
I think I would have just still been waiting on something to land on my lap and trying to figure it out. So I always encourage people, like, I know it's hard to keep going in the process, but if it's your baby and it's meant for you and God's got you, like yes, it's gonna be tough. Yes, you might have moments where you might gonna give up, but then you're gonna have blessings that are gonna overcome, like make up all of those blood, sweat, tears, those moments where you were like, yo, I'm gonna give up. Like they just become like, oh, that's
reassuring.
Why. Yeah,
absolutely.
Like years later, you just like get blessed 3 times, 4 times fold, so you can't complain.
It's a gorgeous thing. And it's Women's History Month, right? Mm-hmm. So who are some of the women that inspire you in the media lane?
In the media lane, I'm going to say Angie Martinez.
Yes. I'm getting that vibe too. Like, I'm not here to compare, but I definitely can feel that vibe from her. I can see that.
Yes. So Angie Martinez is from Jersey, and that's why I like her a lot. And I've always heard her on the radio since I was younger. So I think that's really one of the people. And then also Wendy Williams. Like, how you doing?
Yes.
You know, like all
shout
outs
to Wendy. We miss you, girl.
We miss you. Okay. But you know, like things of that nature. Like that's what made me really like believe in myself, because I'm animated and like I thought you couldn't talk with your hands as a host and you couldn't do things, but the more organic and the more authentic you are as a host, the more you will be called, the more you will shine, your light will just naturally shine. Absolutely. The moment you as a host start being like cookie cutter and trying to be someone you're not, trust me, the audience can tell. Like, all of us can tell. It's, like, very fake. Like, you know your girl, you know your like, no, we're not doing that. We're not.
No, because it's been done. Right. You know what I mean? And people will gradually see it as you watch the videos, because I know a lot of people who will go back and rewatch it, you know what I'm saying? So it means a lot to be surrounded by other women who are staying consistent, because we just had a pandemic, people. All right. And you were just telling me behind cameras that you were on the go. You were doing what you had to do. So I'm super inspired by the fact that you travel.
Thank you.
I am a Staten Island girl. I've been here my entire life. And I was telling you, like, I haven't really went on like a real vacation other than like with family. You know what I'm saying? So I am really interested in knowing what it's like to travel, especially alone. Do you travel alone a lot, or?
I do. I do travel alone a lot, and that's due to the circumstances of how I was raised. Yeah. So, I mean, it's given me a bone of independence and not to depend on people. But at the same time, when it does happen, I'm like, I'm comforted.
Yeah.
But it's just, it was a life lesson. Like, honestly, I was terrified before I went by this trip alone by myself. But I said, if not now, then when will I ever do this? Yeah. And then I had a moment to myself and I was reflecting. I was like, I don't think I will ever have the balls to do it. And later on, when I'm older, I'm going to say, oh, I have kids. I can't do it. I have a husband. I can't do it. So why not just do it now while I'm young and I'm a creative and I get to explore and see other states and see who I meet, see what music and artistry are out there? Because on my show, I've had magicians, poets, singers, rappers, like I've had it all. And so I was like, you know what, like, let's just go. Like, let's just try it out. And I wanted to go to Cali to live out there because I had connections. So I think what it taught me, the first 2 days I was so emotional. Like I was crying. I was like in the car, like, oh, I can't believe I'm doing this.
Yes.
But then like after the first day, I started getting used to the road. I was like, okay.
Where was your starting point?
My starting point was Jersey.
It was Jersey. Okay.
And then I went to Ohio. I crossed 11 states.
Oh my goodness.
I literally did that. I don't know how. Like I went to Texas, New Mexico, Arizona. It was just beautiful. And like Missouri too. Like Missouri's so beautiful. Like I just like thought I was like in an episode of Dragon Ball Z when I was there.
Oh my gosh, that's how dope it is.
Yeah, because like they have this like Orion's belt that covers the whole city. Like it's cemented. And I'm like, oh my God. Like
I want to do that. I feel like that's on my, you know what? Pack the car. We're going after this episode. Let's go.
It was like literally 4 days long. And not a lot of tolls. Like I'm gonna be 100 with you. It wasn't that many tolls. I guess it was the route that I took. It wasn't that much. But the gas is the most expensive thing, especially now.
You know what? Unpack the car. Unpack the car. Wait a minute.
You have an electric car though, so
might have to stop every couple hours, but it's worth it.
Ooh, it might take a week.
Like 16 days exactly.
But hey, like
we made it. We're here now, you know. I think that would be really cool. I don't know what the fear is, you know. And I think the cool thing about us women and going out there and just doing what we want to do and being courageous about it, we kind of use our skills to overcome our fear, right?
Yeah.
Like I'm afraid to travel, but I know deep in my heart that if I get called to do something where it requires me to have to go out there, and if I have to take the electric car and stop every couple hours, I'm going to do it. So I think, you know, people need to know that that fire that's burning in you has to stay lit forever. And it's okay to go into different lanes, right?
Yeah.
Because with media, it's so vast. So I know that you do more than just your podcast. So let us know a little bit about what you do outside of the podcast.
Outside of the podcast, I'm a singer. I am a production assistant. I also am a social media consultant. So I do a lot of things. I run about like 4 accounts. And I'm an administrative assistant for a studio in Jersey. So I have a lot of things. And then I work with the Board of Education in Jersey sometimes.
Wait, how is it 7 days in a week and you doing all of this, girl?
Yeah, tell me about it. I just go where my network needs me to be. Mm-hmm. And sometimes I meet people in events and they're like, oh, you're that singer. I might need you for this instead. And I'm like, that's fine. Like,
let's do it.
To add value to people who are passionate about what they do. Yeah. It's not a game to them. It's not just a hobby. Like, this is my life, right? And like, those are the people I choose to come on the show. Like, there's this man that I've known since I was like 17. And I thought it was so admirable that after working 9 to 5, getting by, he just quit his job. He had 2 girls and a baby on the way.
Wow.
And he said, I'm going to put my art number 1. I'm going to buy a bunch of canvases. I'm going to lock in and I'm going to just paint away and sell it. And he has been a full-time artist since.
That's the goal.
That's the goal.
That's the goal.
That's the goal.
You know, and because I'm a Capricorn and I like plans, I think that's why I haven't quit the 9 to 5. It's like, ooh, the security, because if I don't feel like doing a gig, it's okay. But it's like, we were talking about that before. You were like, if you don't hit up those 10 people, that's on you, you know? So
yep, you are your own boss. If there's a lot of pressure, and like she said in the previous interview,
I was just gonna say that.
Like she says, you're hard on yourself in those times.
You
gotta
like, forgive yourself.
I just missed that opportunity. Mm-hmm. Like I barely checked my emails, and I had like 5 opportunities that I missed. I checked it this week. I was like, oh my goodness, like
right. And now you're like, damn it. Yeah.
Like if I was on it that week, I would have just been there like, ugh. And it happens. Like even like I had an opportunity with Major Stage and I didn't even know. Like, like things of that nature just happen. You get lost in the sauce, but you can't be hard on yourself.
Absolutely.
Like take it one step at a time and just be happy. Like I know it gets overwhelming, but that is the best part of entrepreneurship. You make your day your own. Like today, I'm gonna focus on DJing. Tomorrow, I'm gonna focus on media hosting.
Exactly.
The next day, I'm gonna focus on my podcast, and then maybe do a little warm up or whatever. But you make your schedule. So that's the fun and overwhelming part about it.
I feel like this show is going, every episode, I meet cooler and cooler people, and I'm like more and more ready to be like, you know what? 24-hour creative here.
Yeah,
all
do
day,
it.
every day, 365. So please let us know where we can find you on social media, online, everywhere. Where can they plug you in?
You guys can follow me on Soulfully_Val on Instagram, and then also Reflections with Val. I'm on Spotify, SoundCloud, YouTube, the works. You guys can follow me anytime, and if you have anything you would like to share, I'd be happy to share it on my show. Like anything, like pivotal moments. Even if you're struggling, I don't care. Like let the audience like plug in and hear it, because we need more of that. We need more relatable stories. We don't need fake news or fake personalities.
It's
we
enough.
need the realness.
It's too much of it. So let us be the filter that y'all need to get through your day. I love it. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, I appreciate it. All right, you guys, this is the Hotspot with your girl on the Rocks, and we are going to wrap this up. Make sure you stick around for the next episode.
Bye.